Emmanuel Makandiwa is inspired by Bishop Nehemiah Mutendi to work with Zanu PF, while Apostle FT Chiwenga outsmarts him in giving predictions. During the election period, we see Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa joining hands with President Emerson Mnangagwa, supporting his campaign and prophetically backing the Zanu PF artist jar praiser after the public laughed at him, saying he was humiliated and shamed at a rally. Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa has been difficult to understand, giving prophecies in riddles and hiding meanings, also claiming to have the power to speak to the ruling Zanu PF. He claimed he was going to talk about Mnangagwa, although he didn't give names. It was clear he meant to do so. Around those days, he had just had a meeting with the government and Mr. Mnangagwa. It is my understanding that people meeting the president for the first time, especially if the president listens, might grow prideful, thinking they are powerful or more influential. Despite the fact that Mr. Mnangagwa's government is very unlikely to heed their advice. This is my suggestion. It doesn't really tell what is happening with the man. On this day, Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa followed the well-known prophet and Bishop Dr. Nehemiah Mutendi in praising the new Zig currency, which is just a replica of the bond note. In his speech, Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa said we should support the Zig currency and accept it with a good heart, a statement he made during a church service where more than 3,000 people were gathered. It is Bishop Nehemiah Mutendi who praises President Emerson Mnangagwa and his policy, despite once warning him that God was not with his plan of thinking help was going to come from some countries, not from within Zimbabwe. It is my understanding that Bishop Nehemiah Mutendi always gives examples of President Emerson Mnangagwa in his preaching as a man who has become successful and honorable. Before the launch of the Zig currency, it is very certain that Mnangagwa inquired from his uncle, Bishop Nehemiah Mutendi, about whether the Zig currency was going to be accepted. Unfortunately, Dr. Bishop Nehemiah Mutendi, who mostly discouraged prophecies that hurt the nation and its people, kept such inquiries secret for reasons we may not know. How Bishop Nehemiah Mutendi benefits from the good relationship with the Mnangagwa government is through the provision of land and support on several projects. Mr. Mnangagwa is only enabling the bishop to have his legal requirements processed smoothly, as has been the case since the time of R.G. Mugabe. This church has been prosperous. Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa seems to have fallen into Mnangagwa's trap, especially when acquiring land and properties. Recently, Prophet Emmanuel Makandiwa had to ensure his land for building the church, which was occupied by illegal settlers, was cleared thanks to the government and Mr. Mnangagwa for his help. So, it is clear the prophet is repaying the favor by supporting Mr. Mnangagwa's government and his interventions. Just to mention a few, Prophet Walter Magaya is already involved in gold dealings with Indian nationals. Apostle FT Chiwenga warns these prophets about falling into Mr. Mnangagwa's trap and paying by giving false prophetic support to the Mnangagwa regime.